Well, hi, and welcome to another edition of Anger and Anger Management. And as I was preparing to do this video, I kept thinking, what could I say today in this pandemic that would make or get people to realize that their anger has a great deal to do with their health? And I talked about last week some of the impact that anger has on your life as a child, how it can impact your life. Today, I want to talk about how emotions alone are pretty much okay. But when they're toxic, it can lead to serious health issues, very serious health problems. Anger and hatred can be a direct cause of your illness. It really can. That you have towards other people, even if you internalize your anger, as we talked about before, it can cause you to get sick, cause you to have GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease. It can cause you to have ulcers and cause you to have headaches and have heart disease, all because you have not resolved your anger. But either way, when you allow these negative forces to be in your life and to rule your life and over your soul, the heart of the man is his soul. To rule over your heart, over your heart, it can have very detrimental things that can happen. And one of the things that it attacks is your immune system. It is your immune system. There are some ways to overcome anger and hatred in your life. Number one, anger and hatred are natural. It's not something you have to get a book and create a recipe for. It's a natural thing. But they are also some of the most toxic emotions that we can have. Some of the anger can be good and drive you to do great things. Hatred can be something that may keep you safe, or something that you just truly don't like or dislike for. Mine is usually about foods, and I've had people that say, if you're so particular, you need to eat at home and every day, and I try to cook and eat at home every day. But I don't eat okra. I have a very bad disdain for okra. We grew it in the garden. It was my job to go and pick it. And you have to pick okra every day to every other day if you have a lot of it, because it grows quickly and it gets hard and nobody can eat it. But I don't like it. So to say I hate it, pretty much, yeah, I hate it. But it's not impacting anybody who likes okra, and it's not making me sick. And it doesn't bother me or anybody else that I don't like okra, because people who like it eat it anyway. But like I said, there's some of the most toxic emotions that we can have. Feelings of rage and hatred could build up in our mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul, affecting the body's organs. I talked about that, and natural processes, and breeding even negative emotions. Because when you're angry, you got this, you got all these negative. Every time somebody says something positive, you respond with something negative. Expressing anger in reasonable ways can be healthy. It can be, I don't like when, not you do, but I don't like when. And then that releases me to, and hopefully the person you talk to is understanding enough to understand that bothers you, and what can we do about it to work this thing out. But explosive people who hurl objects and yell at each other and cuss people and throw things, and their blood pressure goes up, their stress level is now low, they can't take much, and anxiety, headaches, and do you know it can lead to poor circulation? People say, I don't know why my legs are, or my hands, it's stress, and stress is, I told you once before, anxiety leads to depression. Depression leads to anger, and anger brings about all of these other problems that you're now having to deal with. Your blood pressure, And it's unresolved issues that many times we have in our life. Sometimes it's genetic, it's culture, blah, blah, however you want to put it. But when you sit down and start meditating and looking back over your life, you think about things that occurred to you at a younger age or in your life and say, that really did scar me. Now, why I don't like okra, let me tell you. My mother's husband, my mother's, not mother's husband, my mother's husband's mother um, fixed a pot of soup one day. And we had just moved down south from Virginia, and it smelled absolutely divine. I couldn't wait for that soup to get done. And she fixed a big pan of cornbread. Oh, I was just, and when I got a spoon, there was this long string of thick, I don't know, juice, if you want to call it, from the bowl to my spoon. And I thought, something's not right about this. Has it spoiled? So I put it in my mouth and it was slick. That did it for me. I said, no, I don't care how good it looks, how good it tastes. I mean, how good it looks, how good it smells. And it seems as though she tricked me because I had never had okra. And I never wanted it again. People say if you eat it fried, it's not that slick. But the key word is that slick. So it does still get slick in your mouth. I don't like it. I don't like it. So that impacted me at the age of 10. And now, even today, I won't eat okra. I don't know what would come, a crisis would come along to make me eat okra. To me, that's like saying, I'm going to stick my hand in a den of rattlesnake. I don't like it. I don't want it. And I don't know what will make me reach in and get that snake to kill him, to eat him. Hunger, maybe? Maybe so. Anger and hatred can be directed at yourself or other people, but either way you lose when you allow these negative foods, energy, whatever to come. Be the energy somebody want to be around. Be that energy. Don't let these negatives take over your whole personality, because there's a person down on the inside that's hurting. And that's what I'm here for. I am a certified anger management coach. I have clients in different states who we talk about this, and then we put something in place to try to work through that behavior using cognitive behavior therapy. Fortunately, there are some ways to overcome anger and hatred in your life. How to overcome anger? I'm just going to give you about 4 or 5 things that we can do. Number one, acknowledge your anger. It's like an alcoholic. You can't get help until you say, I'm an alcoholic. And acknowledge your anger instead of pushing your anger into the recesses of your mind and refusing to admit that it's there. Refusing to, I'm not angry. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. If I want to truly know how a person feels about themselves, when they come out of the bag bragging about, I am loving, I am kind, I am this, and I'm that, that is a snow job. That's a snow job. I don't find out in my life that's a snow job. They're probably the opposite of all 3 of those first ones. And when you get to know that person, you say, I thought you said you were love. Well, to those who are good to me, I'm good to them. No. You're supposed to be kind all the time because that's what you portray yourself as. So don't push it down the inside and give people the fake person. These dating sites just trip me out. You get on those dating sites and they tell you all these wonderful things about themselves. And then when you get to digging, the folks is sleeping in the car, but they got you thinking they can take care of themselves. And not that a lot of people go in there looking for that, but then they have underlying health issues they don't tell you about. Well, I've been a nurse since I was 16 years old, and I promise you, I don't want to nurse nobody else. I don't want to nurse Douglas, and you have to go to my Facebook and see who Douglas is, because Douglas is my Shih Tzu, and he has comprehensive health care, so that's not my goal. Be mindful of how you feel, and be mindful of what you're feeling. I feel uncomfortable when you say. If you can admit that you're angry, then you can begin to tackle those emotions and find a solution to the problem. But first, you got to admit it. That's number one above everything else I've said. You've got to admit that you're angry. And when you see me and you're shouting at me, there's some underlying things that I didn't do. Number 2, realize why you're angry, or feeling hateful, look deep into yourself and ask yourself why are you upset? Many times anger and hatred come from a place of fear. I'm scared and I've got to shields up, shields up. I got to protect myself. So my anger and my hatred they're going to be my shields to protect me from you. I'm aboard the Enterprise, and Captain Picard has given the command, red alert. Security has said red alert, and Captain Picard says shields up. You say red alert, hatred, anger says shields up, and you have never come out of that shield mode to let your shields back down. And when you do ease them down, there's somebody hollering red alert. There you go back up with those shields, and you can't let them down because you haven't taken a break from anger and hatred to sit back and say, why am I? Take a break, go for a walk, or practice meditation until you have calmed down a bit. I'm not big into meditation. I'm really not. For those people who are, then great. I channel my anger to cook, to crochet, to clean, to talk to people. I channel it other ways, not to the person that I'm necessarily angry at, but I channel it away. I've learned that putting it in the recesses of your heart is not the thing to do, because a feather can come along and you will explode and then implode. And that's a bad place to be. If the situation is beyond your control, again, just go for a walk. Try something other than shouting and throwing things. You may not be able to change a particular person or situation, but you can change how you think about them. Remember, I told you very early in these videos, you are the boss of your anger. You hold the power. And I refuse to let anybody have that kind of power on me. Make me angry. No, I will not allow you to make me angry. The essential guide to taking care of your mind and body. Number 5, talk to people about what's on your mind. I often think about Robin Williams, played Mork on Mork and Mindy. I mean, I never would have thought by the false person he presented, he would have been contemplating suicide. And the chef, these people seem like they had a full, rich life. I guess I'm thinking in my mind, if I had had this life with all these people in my life, I don't know that I necessarily would have been depressed to the point of killing myself. But you can see how easy anger turns to anxiety, anxiety turns to depression, depression turns to anger, and then you explode only to implode. Talk to members of your family, your pastor, an older person who's been through, who when you talk to them, what you tell them will stay there. This is a safe place. Certified anger management specialist therapies is a safe place. I have to abide by the HIPAA guidelines. I have to keep your records. I will never reveal your records to anyone except under 2 things. You threaten to hurt yourself or hurt somebody, or you have hurt somebody. You need to talk to me, a person like me, an anger management therapist. Because we can talk about this and nobody will have to know what has been said. This will alleviate negative feelings. It'll help you to overcome negative feelings. Moreover, other people can often offer valuable advice, and that comes from an objective perspective. To be objective, not subjective, but objective. Because an objective person is going to tell you whether your behavior is appropriate in relationship to the person that you're angry at. Well, they're going to look at it like a friend will praise you behind your back and talk about you to your face, because they need to hear what it is that they're doing wrong. Number 6, let go of unhealthy thought patterns. Let them go, y'all. Let them go. I think in that movie Frozen, people say if I hear it say it one more time, they were gonna just scream. Let it go. Just let it go. Let go of those thought patterns because they're in your head. They're residing in your head. They're not paying rent up here. They're not leasing up here. They're not leaving anything behind up here but negative emotions. If you find yourself always thinking the worst about others and yourself, try to retrain your mind. Start thinking things. Ooh, sure it's a beautiful day. It's cloudy and overhung, but the trees in Georgia are still green, and my grass is trimmed nice. And Douglas is down here at my foot, so I can't even stretch my legs out. But guess what? I just took my mind off of whatever that was bothering me. If you can let the negative thought patterns go and start to appreciate what is good in life. In this day and age, in this era, we are grateful to be able to get up in the morning and still alive. We're grateful to lay down at night and don't have COVID-19. We're grateful for the right to vote. We are grateful to be able to walk to the end of our property and do basically what is normal to do. Normal to do. Remember that anger comes from within. It's a feeling, a passion, an emotion, and it can be just as easy to eliminate anger and to suppress it or to hold on to it. You can let it go. You can hold on to it and suppress it down on the inside. So I don't know you, but 3 days from now, they introduce me to you and you'll say, oh, I don't like her. But why? Because it reminds you of somebody who you said did something to you and you did never work that anger out. If you can learn to tackle your anger at the root and resolve your negative feelings without lashing out at yourself or others, and yes, I say at yourself. Oh, you talk about yourself and you will be already one step further on the path to optimal health and happiness. I am Dr. Della M. Tingamy. I am a certified anger management specialist. I deal with cognitive behavior therapy, and you can reach me at www.angermanagementcoaches.com. www.angermanagementcoaches.com. You can go to my website, and I have a lot of great tips. You can go to my page on YouTube. My channel is Della Tingamy. You can go there and see the videos and slide presentation. You could also find me on Facebook, Della M. Tingamy, and that's the anger management page. You can find me on Twitter, Dr. T. Ingume. You can find me on Tumblr and Instagram at Pastor694. Just go there and look at some of the videos and things that I've talked about already. Like and share. Like, subscribe, and share. I hear this all the time on YouTube, and I never remember to say it. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification. Hit the notification. That lets you know every time I do upload a video, you can see it. Again, I want to thank you today for coming in and listening to this about anger and hatred having a toxic reaction on your life. See you next time.